My darling daughter, I feel a desperate need to write to you before it's too late, before I forget, amongst the hustle and bustle called life, to teach you a very important lesson, one that has taken me years to realize. A physician once told my parents that I would only be on this earth for 24 hours, or else I would forever be a vegetable. Either someone was a tad off on their predictions, or this vegetable was able to attend law school, get married, and legally adopt a child. Many people also told me that I shouldn't try to go to college, that my disability would make it too hard to succeed, that I was aspiring to be too much, that I was barren, that I was not skinny or pretty enough, that I was not strong enough, that I was disfigured, that I was not smart enough or capable enough, that I was sick, that I was weak, that I was nothing, that I could never be your mama because we don't share a single shred of DNA. Yet I stand before you, having become most of what the naysayers said I couldn't be, having accomplished more than anyone expected, having loathed me, loved me, and found me. I've become the woman I choose, and I implore you to do the same. On a side note, if you ever see me stand, run. The world might just be coming to a very abrupt end. My darling daughter, you are not adopted. That is an event that happened in your life. Your adoption was the culmination of a 5-year journey. 9 birth mothers, 3 agencies, 3,500 miles traveled, 2 bosses, 2 home studies, 2 sets of fingerprints, and a stack of papers that would make the Eiffel Tower look like the Barbie dream house. We struggled more than most because many countries and 34 states in the U.S. still regard disability as grounds for termination of parental rights and removal of physical custody by the state. So choosing a place that would look beyond my different ability and allow me to bring you home was of the essence. Yet, once you were placed in our arms at 15 hours old, the actual legal paper, the adoption, did not matter much, as it still doesn't. Your story is so much greater than that. You are neither black nor Hispanic. That is a shell, a color, a label on a piece of paper, a social construction grounded in a distorted, self-serving view of the world that still affects the perceptions of many. I always remember being handed a piece of paper with our adoption packet, which we were told was for us to let the adoption agency know our racial, ethnic, and skin color preference. Wait, am I adopting or ordering out of a catalog? Really, in the grander scheme of things, race, color, and ethnicity do not define people. People define themselves and will try to define you in the process. Don't ever let them. You are not pretty. That would depend on someone else's perception. See, in 2014, I was told I have a genetic mutation that would make me a shoo-in for a breast cancer reoccurrence. So, having been through the surgeries, the radiation, the surgically induced menopause 12 years before, I decided to have a double mastectomy and reconstruction. Reconstruction. There's a false sense of fixing something broken tied to that word. But the truth is, one is never really broken, no matter what happens or how many of society's stereotypes you don't fit into. For instance, you'll never look like the chicks in the magazines without Photoshop, and that's perfectly okay. So love you, even the harder parts to love, because there is no greater gift than your uniqueness, and true beauty is more than skin deep. My darling daughter, you are not the poster child for any given cause that would confine you to a single aspect of your being. Being a poster child is exhausting. I've been a poster child since the day I was born. A poster child for people with disabilities, for young women with cancer, for people who overcome adversity. People tell me that they could not do what I do. That, my dear, is the lie that keeps them static. I am here to tell you that if you have to, you will do it. It's called living, and you don't need a soapbox for that. You are not the job you have. That is strictly and solely what you choose to do. You see, in 2009, way before you came along, I was an attorney, a government official, a chief of whatever. I was so consumed by accolades and accomplishments and by proving to society that I could do what seemed impossible that I became my job, my title. Then I lost my job, my title. I was full of self-doubt and depression, self-loathing and insecurity. It took me years to mull through it, but I can now safely say that what I choose to do behind a desk does not define me. You are not low, middle, or high income. That depends on what you have, not on who you are. Daddy and I are still who we are, even though we lost every single possession we had at one point. See, you were in life-threatening danger, underinsured and gravely sick. So we left everything, sold everything, and relocated 1,100 miles from home with a stroller, a portable crib, an air mattress, and a ton of hope. We live with less now than we have ever had, but we are the most at peace. We vow never to forget the time when a McDonald's meal was a splurge or even an impossibility. Not because having less makes you any less, but because what really matters in life is your self-worth, not your net worth. My darling daughter, you are not disabled. That would discount all of your abilities and superhero powers. I remember being an aspiring college honor student when one of my professors from Puerto Rico approached me about attending an internship in the continental U.S. I applied, though my family was skeptical of my ability. As the acceptance letters started pouring in, I began sending out letters with lists of my needs to evaluate which of the institutions could best accommodate me. Then came the I'm sorries, and discouragement started overcoming me, up until I got a yes. Needless to say, when the plane tickets arrived, all hell broke loose. I mean, the netherworld had a party. Family put their foot down, yelled, scolded, cried, and flat out said that searching my independence was a bad idea because I could not take care of myself, my being disabled and all. But I packed my 3 bags and my 2 wheelchairs and left for 3 months. I would do it again in a heartbeat because it taught us all that I really can do anything I set my mind to. In the end, my family learned that I can not only take care of myself, but that I have the strength and the ability to take care of them when needed. I can now fully say abilities and disabilities are relative and obstacles are optional. My darling daughter, after surviving, thriving, and riding this roller coaster called life from a very medically complicated and physically challenging perspective, I can only ask you to always remember, you are more than the sum of your experiences and of society's stereotypes of parts of your identity. You have a choice to be, to feel the heartbeat inside you and know it beats with a purpose. And once you find that purpose, that spark that is you, run. Run with it like a bat out of hell and fulfill your mission, no matter what anyone else tells you, including me. Be brave enough to never leave anything undone. Don't wait till you're too close to the bucket to have a list worth crossing off. Never ever forget to live like you are dying, for it will one day be true. Thank you very much.